Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to give you a little bit of food for thought. Um, and talking about, uh, like I say, I'm here in China, and I'm getting a front row seat on communism. But it's not really a communism like I was led to believe when I was a child. It's changed, and because China is going through its industrial age, I guess you'd call them. They're developing, or whatever you want to call it, because they are really big time improving. Every place I go, even the villages, you can see the roads are good. The infrastructure, they're really doing something about the infrastructure. The older communities, they've spruced them up, but they have the ghost cities where really nice and everything's modern and stuff, and they will trade them their nasty house in the village for a nice house in the ghost city, a nice apartment. So uh, they're they're developing. I guess that's why they call them a developing country, but it's not a third world country. I guarantee this is not a third world country. This is really something. It's but it's kind of odd from the way I was brought up, believing what communism is, and seeing it firsthand and how it works. Uh, I'm not going to go into lots of parts of it, but the main thing what I'm going to try to talk about is the difference between let's just say the United States and uh, China, from my perspective, what I see, and what it is. It's I notice the people, because I don't do like normal tourists. You're on a route. They keep you on a route. Uh, you're in a controlled environment. I mean, the hotels are nice, the restaurants are nice, the buses are nice. Everything is set up for you. I'm not doing like that. I'm out amongst the people, and it's really difficult. But like I say, I'm getting firsthand stuff now, but I'm getting information from what I experience, not what is spoon fed to me. So, and that's the same thing for the United States. So, there's a lot of people think, well, they've been to California, New York. Well, I know the United States. I've been to California. You don't know nothing about the United States if you think California represents the United States, or New York. It does not represent the United States. So that might be the same thing that I'm doing. Like I say, I'm in the southwestern part of the country. One thing, the weather is really nice. And so the people's mentality is different depending on the weather, the kind of conditions. Good example, United States, you got the northern folk and the southern folk. There's a big difference. And that's because the northern folk are closed up. They work in offices and stuff like that. Uh, they look at fishing and hunting as a sport. In the South, it's more of a way of life. The hunting and fishing, and because of the weather, they're not closed up in the wintertime. They're not inside. They're out. So their social skills are different from the North and the South in the United States. It's definitely the same thing here in China. You go from one province to another, and that's like one state to another. It's completely different. A lot of times the languages are different. For sure, the food's different. A lot of the cultural habits are different. Uh, the One of the things that really got me, and like I say, it's hard to find people speak English. So normally the ones that I talk to that speak English are the ones that are more educated. So you got to remember that too. So I'm getting the input from the people that are more educated. Um, they and they try to explain, because I have them, and they don't like to answer questions. People don't like answering questions. I don't know why that is. I love answering questions, from the best of my ability, and that's what I want from them, the best of their ability. And I don't know if they feel stupid because they don't have all the answers, so they don't like answering questions or what. But anyway, so it's hard for me to find someone that speaks English, and then someone that speaks English that is open, will talk, will really communicate. And normally I get people on a one-on-one basis, and then we can have fun, talk, and all this stuff. But it's really hard over here. But anyway, the ones that I have been able to talk to, the best I've been able to figure out is the community. They're a big thing, and they call it the community. It's funny. When I was showing the Hoi Chi to the hospital staff, the doctors, oh man, they thought that was neat. They never seen anything like that. But they said it was traditional Chinese medicine, and they're real curious. And so they said, well, can you come back tomorrow? And so I said, yeah. And so when I went back the next day, it turned out I can't do it. I can't show them. And the reason is the leader said no, that they can't do it. So now what we're talking about is, in a community form type government, the lower people aren't into decision making. They don't make decisions, and the people, from when you look at it through the community point of view, everyone in the community has got a job that's appointed to them, and that's what they know. So it's what they call it, increment. Well, you only know a certain part. You don't see the big picture. You just know the little part of it, and you stay focused on that. You don't make decisions because you're part of the community. You're not capable of making those kind of decisions. So that's a community type mentality. Sometimes I call it somewhat is a tribal type thinking. When you belong to a tribe, you've got different things that are assigned to you. The chief is the one that makes the decisions. You're just one of the little Indians. So and so it's tribal. That's kind of like the community kind of basic thinking, kind of. And then the difference is, in the United States, it's individuals, because we have different cultures coming together, different nationalities, stuff like that. So you have individuals. Now, individuals have to work together to get things done in the United States. And that's why they're so creative. They're able to bring different ideas from different parts of the world, their culture, the way they see things. And that's why you get all this stuff. That's another thing. You hear me talk about the three-man militia. The three-man militia is kind of the same thing. It's strong individuals coming together. Now, they're in threes, and so these three know a certain subject. Now, but you don't belong to just one. You belong to different three-man militias, so you learn different stuff. And the same thing in your community, using my community for an example, we all know something, not everything, but most of the things we know something about it. So we don't have a leadership that tells everybody what to do. We don't do that. And that's because we all kind of take turns doing the leading. And you have the leadership in your three-man militia, plus you have the leadership for your little neighborhood or something like that. And then it goes up and up and up. There's more and more leadership on up. And you can be on any part of this leadership. The same thing, three-man militias in the leadership position in your little neighborhood or in the whole thing in general. So it's all based on it's based on strong individuals, smart individuals that think and that are faced with different situations they have to deal with, in which you don't find that in the community. Now, when they say community, you got to remember we're doing things in translation, so we lose a lot. I am taking it for granted they're saying community is the party leadership. The party leadership is the one that tells everybody what to do. So you have to get into the party, then you have to work your way up the party, and then you're going to be one of the big chiefs. Then you can make the decisions. So, and they're not taking feedback from all the little Indians. The little Indians just do what they're told. So that's the big difference between strong individuals and a community working together. I don't know how that works in the way of getting things done, but I see there's a lot of development going on in China. Now, the one thing they don't admit is China is growing. They're really doing a lot of stuff. And they say the community is doing all this. Now, what they don't say is they have foreigners, people like me, that come in and with our ideas and our work ethics, our way of doing things. That's why you have plants. You know, look at all the American plants that have come to China to start building things and stuff, because it's cheap and they're doing it. But they need that outsider, that foreigner, to come in with his ideas to make it work. They don't give the foreigners the credit for it. They say it's the community come together to do this. So that you really do need to get new blood to get new ideas working. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.